a really nice one, that, so I thought I'd show you that. Obviously I've heard that chap onwards. But yeah, I'd not heard, didn't know how he'd done it, by the way. But he'd not been able to hear properly from that for quite a long time. Doesn't know how it happened. But we're further onwards, because normally perforations is a relatively small and not a huge one. Should take a number of weeks, anywhere between 6-8 weeks sometimes a little bit longer, sometimes a bit quicker. Depends how well people heal. Everyone heals at different rates. But if it doesn't heal, then obviously that's when it needs looking into and possibly some repair. There's something really interesting as well in the second year of this chap here. The next 2 years, both from the same patient. The first one incredibly blocked up, and he'd been to see his doctor, and the doctor confirmed, yeah, you need this one sorted out because it's really full. And the doctor, I believe, had a look in the other one and said, nope, that one's fine. You will see later on, that one is far from fine. I mean, it's sometimes you do despair a little bit when someone else, then don't get me wrong, we don't have the same equipment that we do, but what we spotted was a pretty basic and obvious thing that should have been picked up on really. So it's why it's always a good idea to look in the ear that you don't think there's a problem with, just because you might find a problem. As we did with this chap here. It's a really difficult ear to get into, quite narrow, and it kind of closes off a bit. So I'm using the endoscope there to pop it open to the side so you can get both the camera and the suction tube in. But yeah, it is incredibly frustrating when you see, I get to see quite a lot of complicated things around here, which you can take as two ways. You can take it as, oh my word, I get a lot of complicated ones, or I kind of take it as a bit of a compliment, because a lot of them have been somewhere else. They couldn't do it, or wouldn't do it, or couldn't fix the problem, and so they land on my door, which is great. I don't mind a complicated one, as I'm sure you guys don't as well. But it is a bit disheartening when you see, I know that there's a big campaign going on at the moment that we're all trying to coordinate with each other. All of those who have put these things on social media, trying to stop some really poor practice going on. And there is loads of it out there, You can get this done at barbers, beauticians, anyway, I have started a petition. I don't think it's been formally accepted by the parliamentary people, whether these things go through yet. So as soon as I do get that, okay, I will share it with you again. These things have to be checked before they can be made public. But there are a few national organisations who are getting together soon to hopefully try and put a stop to this. Because like I said before, there's very little to no regulation at all in this industry in the UK. Apart from registered nurses, we're the only ones who legally have to be regulated and inspected. But funny enough, if I chose that I didn't want to be regulated and inspected, which actually does cost quite a lot of money, then I could just remove myself from the nursing register and carry on doing it. It's bananas. They wouldn't be able to do anything about it. Absolutely crackers. But hopefully we can get these poor practices stopped soon. Anyway, this second year here, so this was one that the doctor looked at and said, no, that's fine, not a problem there. Now you can already see a problem there, can't you? There's a big old, and it's quite hard. I felt it as soon as I pinched it with the crocodile forceps there. A really hard lump, a really hard sheet of dead skin that wouldn't have been able to see properly in that ear unless you remove that. So what they were looking at, I don't know. But they said, yeah, we can see your eardrum and it's absolutely fine. You will soon see that it's not. And it's quite interesting how it presented as well. Could be easily mistaken for something that it's not. But we'll get onto that in a second. Now, this bit was very stuck, very dry. I think as it comes out, it looks like a pair of wings off a fly. Something like that. It's not, I can assure you. I don't think it is anyway. But it did take a fair amount of tugging and twisting and wiggling and jiggling. So we'll grab that again, and again quite narrow, this quite difficult to get into. So while we're wiggling it like that, just to try and separate it from the canal wall, And this one's needing a particularly aggressive shake to get this out. You can see why when it comes out, can't you? Very stuck that was. Really dry that stuff was. But have a look at the eardrum behind this one. Now, I'll just turn the light up in a second so you get a clearer view. And first glance you'll think, ooh, that's a big perforation. It's not a perforation. It's intact from what I can see. But it's a huge retraction pocket. Now, why do you get retraction pockets? It's because there's a problem with the air pressure. There's something stopping the middle ear from regulating the air pressure with the eustachian tube. Can be a few things. Can actually be a blockage in there. But have a look at the shape of it. Looks just like an apple, doesn't it? That's why I put that there. So yeah, we refer these people on obviously as soon as you find something that shouldn't be there. Especially when there's a large retraction. That was a large retraction in just one ear. It can mean some things have to be ruled out, like a mass, in the nasopharynx area. If you get people with a mild retraction on both sides, the most common cause of that is some nasal congestion and the common cold. See a lot of people this time of year. It's January here. You might not be watching this in January, but it's quite common that people come to me with feeling of blocked and can't hear very well. And we look in their ears and they're surprised to see nothing at all. But then I explain to them what's actually going on. Second pair of ears here was of a gentleman, if memory serves me right, who follows the channel. So hello to you watching. I don't even recognise your ear. But he enjoys watching other videos, so I said I'll put yours in. I'll put yours in at the end of one of the more interesting ones, because it was quite straightforward, this. Fairly full though, don't get me wrong. There you go. Beautifully clear, shiny ear canal with a lovely eardrum at the bottom there. And not 100% blocked this, you can still see bits of the eardrum in the distance. But better opening, something like this. And you're tapping there a fair old while, I think. It's just been collecting at the bottom there, so always the key to getting ones like this that have just collected down there is going to the base of the ear canal there and lifting it up. Quite dark as well there, so you can tell that that's probably been there a good while. And it's going to be, every time the skin sheds and tries to travel out the ear canal, which it naturally does, it'll be getting stuck behind that. So it's just as much about preventing a problem in the future, a lot of the time. Which a lot of people do come and see me about. When they've seen me once or a couple of times, we tend to make sure we get them booked in. I'll certainly ask them to book in 12, 18 months, 2 years. If you had a problem once, chances are it's going to come back, unfortunately. Thankfully almost everybody comes